The sexual drive in Eritrea, culture, restraint, and the hidden realities. What does sexual desire look like in a nation that has spent decades under strict discipline, military control, and conservative culture? Eritrea is a country not often discussed in mainstream African discourse, especially when it comes to intimate or taboo subjects. But hidden within the borders of this resilient nation lies a complex story about sexuality, one shaped by tradition, government influence, religion, and quiet rebellion. Today we dive deep into the sexual drive in Eritrea, how it exists, how it's expressed, and how it's often suppressed in silence. To understand the sexual behavior of Eritreans, we must first understand the country's structure. Eritrea is one of the most disciplined nations in Africa, with a government that has long emphasized sacrifice over comfort. The National Service Program, which often keeps young men and women in military service for extended years, plays a major role in shaping both personal freedom and romantic relationships. Unlike many African countries where sexual expression is loosely regulated, Eritrea enforces an unspoken culture of modesty, caution, and loyalty, at least on the surface. In urban centers like Asmara, Massawa, and Karen, there's a subtle contrast. These cities show signs of modern life: Western-style clothing, social mingling in cafes, and access to smartphones. Youth in these areas are more exposed to global ideas about dating and intimacy. Yet the pressure to conform to cultural and religious expectations remains strong. Young men and women are discouraged from public displays of affection. In fact, even the idea of dating is often seen as rebellious, particularly for girls. Virginity before marriage is not just preferred, it is expected. Women are especially burdened with the role of protecting family honor through sexual purity. Men, too, are expected to exhibit restraint, though the standards are sometimes unevenly applied. That said, the sexual drive among young people is as real and alive in Eritrea as it is anywhere in the world. The difference is, its expression is mostly hidden from public view. It thrives in private conversations, in coded expressions on social media, and in the secrecy of relationships that dare not be exposed. Online platforms have become a quiet battleground for sexual expression. While internet access in Eritrea is limited and highly monitored, many young Eritreans still find ways to access platforms like Facebook, Telegram, and WhatsApp. Through these channels, romantic and even sexual relationships are formed. Secret meetings, late-night chats, and emotionally charged exchanges are part of a growing trend among Eritrean youth who want connection, intimacy, and freedom, but fear the consequences of being caught. But not all expressions of sexual drive are soft or romantic. Eritrea also faces the harsh realities that come with suppression. When natural desires are consistently denied or demonized, they often find release in less healthy ways. There have been quiet concerns about sexual exploitation within the military training camps. Young women, especially those conscripted into the national service, sometimes find themselves vulnerable to abuse from those in higher ranks. These issues are rarely discussed openly due to fear, shame, and the strict nature of the government. Moreover, in a society where talking about sex is taboo, there's very little sexual education. Many Eritreans grow up with limited understanding of consent, reproductive health, or emotional intimacy. This lack of knowledge creates confusion and vulnerability, especially among young people who are left to navigate their desires alone. In some rural regions, early marriage is seen as the solution to sexual temptation. Girls as young as 16 or 17 are sometimes married off to protect the family's reputation, not necessarily for love. Religion plays a strong role in shaping the national attitude toward sexuality. The majority of Eritreans are either Orthodox Christian or Muslim. Both religions promote sexual purity, modesty, and marital fidelity. Churches and mosques are influential, not just spiritually but socially. Religious leaders often serve as moral guides in their communities, and sermons frequently touch on the importance of chastity. These messages have a deep impact on how people view themselves and their bodies. But there is also a human side to this story. Eritreans, like all people, desire love, connection, and physical intimacy. Underneath the cultural and political control, there's an undercurrent of quiet longing. Many young Eritreans dream of romantic freedom, to choose their partners, to explore relationships, and to express love without fear. This longing is often fulfilled through migration. Eritreans who manage to leave the country, whether to Europe, the Middle East, or neighboring countries, sometimes experience a sexual awakening.